Welcome back to Second Cinema, everyone. We are on location at Theater in the Park in Raleigh, North Carolina, where we have the pleasure of talking with Evan Rachel Wood. Evan, great to have you with us.
It's great to, thank you for having me. I was going to say great to be here, but yeah.
Great to be here. You're here. Well, we are here because you are doing a production of Romeo and Juliet, starring as the lovely Juliet, at Theater in the Park, which coincidentally is your father's theater.
Yes.
And you're under the direction of your brother Ira. So kind of a family affair.
Definitely, yeah. That was the point. I mean, this is the theater I did my first play in. This is the theater I did my last play in. Mm-hmm. And I just realized that it was the same play. First play I did here was Briar Patch, and that was the last play I did. And it was about 13 years ago.
You've come a long way, baby.
Come a long way. Yeah, and Ira and I saw a production of it in '95 when they did it here, and just fell in love with it ever since. And you know, I've been waiting till we got old enough to do it. And you know, I can't imagine a better play to reunite with everybody with.
Oh,
it's a classic.
It is a classic,
yeah.
And it's such a beautiful role for you to be in. How's the experience been so far? Have you done Shakespeare before?
I have. I did A Midsummer Night's Dream when I was 7, but you know, my parents were doing Shakespeare constantly, so it was all Shakespeare and Chekhov, you know, in elementary school all the time. So I'm definitely used to it and used to the dialect and everything. So.
And going back to your family, you obviously come from a family of actors. I mean, your dad being the executive director of Theater in the Park, basically building this theater for over 30 years. Ira also being an actor as well, and then getting a chance to work with both of them in this show. How has it really been for you?
It's been an honor, you know, sharing the stage with him. We've all acted together before, but never anything as heavy as this, you know. So it's been so much fun. It's been emotional. It's been very emotional. I mean, my father is playing my father in the play, you know, and he has to yell at me and throw me down on the ground, and so it takes a lot out of you. But it's so much more rewarding at the end, you know. And I'm just so proud of Ira. It's the first thing he's ever directed, you know, and stepping into something this caliber, you know, he's doing a great job.
Is this something you've always wanted to do? Has it been kind of unavoidable to be in this field because of your family background?
Yeah, but luckily my family always gave me a choice. You know, I was never pressured into it, but I luckily always loved it, you know, so I just feel lucky that I got a head start, you know.
Yeah. Good things. How has your career evolved over the years? From being in the theater, at your father's theater, going into television, then into mainstream film. How has it kind of evolved? How has it been for you, the process?
It's been a roller coaster, you know. I know a lot of people say that, but it's really true. It's the more successful I get, the harder it gets. Yeah. But you know, I love every minute of it. Yeah, it gets a little crazy. So I think that's why this is just the perfect time for me to come back home and, you know, do something that's just for me, and you know, that's really coming from the heart. Not that, you know, my films do, but you know, because family's involved, it's different.
Has a different feeling.
But it's been wonderful, and you know, I've managed to, you know, do the films I want to do. I love independent film, and I've managed to work with the actors and the filmmakers I want to, and I think it's a great time for independent film too. You know, it's starting to, you know, these little films are making all the way up to the Oscars. You know, Little Miss Sunshine, The Wrestler, Juno. You know, it's great. You know, it's like a whole new level.
So how have independent films differed for you from the blockbusters you've done? You obviously have worked with some mainstream people. You've done some amazing work. You're a wonderful actress. But what's the difference for you as an actress working in something that's a blockbuster, a big film, compared to the independents?
I've noticed that in you know, nothing against big budget studio films, you know, there's lots of cooks in the kitchen, and there's so much money and there's so much going on that, you know, some of the heart and some of the emotion can get kind of lost. And I just preferred independent film because it's slightly edgier, slightly more artistic, creative, and you know, nobody's in it for the money because, you know, they're independent. It's usually low budget, so everybody just either, you know, loves the script, passionate about it, wants to see it succeed, wants to get it out there, wants to touch people's lives. So that's, you know, that's where I'm at.
It's definitely been edgier for you. Those movies have been edgy, and starting at a rather young age in that industry. You've done some pretty significant roles. I mean, working on films like Pretty Persuasion and 13, which so many people just love that film and know you for. How do you prepare for parts like that at such an early age? How did you do that?
Well, again, I mean, I'm sure growing up around dramatic plays and roles and, watching my parents die every night and, I was always around adults more than kids. So I think I matured and grew up pretty quickly. And then I started taking roles like that because I, felt like I was in a similar place. I was stuck in between being an adult and being a child and, trying to figure out what it all means. And I wasn't seeing any girls my age in roles that I could really relate to. So I figured, well, somebody's gonna have to do it. It's gonna have to be me. So
you've kind of found your niche in that, though. I mean, it just works for you.
It does, and I have fun doing it, and it's helped me work through any, demons or anything I might have. It's really it's the best therapy.
Right. Well, that's good. You're enjoying what you do.
Yeah, and then,
therapy
and
at no cost.
Yeah, and at the same time, as I'm going through this, and of course I have to go on this same emotional ride that the character does. But usually with roles like that, it really gets to people, in their hearts, and so that's wonderful. When I have young girls that have seen 13 or something come up to me and just.
We actually
we
have a few that watch Second Cinema, and when I told them that we were doing an interview with you, I can't even tell you the reactions we got. So you do have some fans that watch the show.
That's so funny.
So, yeah, right. And so, you want to say hi?
Hey, thank you.
So you definitely have a following here in North Carolina.
That's great. And, I'm glad that I can be that for some people, and I might be an interesting role model, but I think I am a good role model. I follow my heart, and I, believe in staying true to yourself. And I think that's the secret to happiness.
That's a great way to think, obviously. What about inspirational people in your life? People that have maybe heroes you've had, actors and actresses that have really kind of been the ones you've been watching. Do you have favorites?
My favorite actress would have to be Cate Blanchett, who I did get the pleasure of working with in The Missing, but couldn't even say a word to her. And she's just not only is she just strikingly beautiful and an incredible actress, and I think almost underrated because she makes it all look so easy. And she's different in everything. And she's so easygoing and funny in person. She seems very, Queen Elizabeth, but on set she's drumming and hanging out, and so I love that about her, that she's still so human
real.
and warm. And Julie Taymor changed my life, director of Across the Universe. She's just got one of the most amazing minds I've ever had the pleasure to be around or to be in her world. Nobody thinks like her. So she's definitely a hero of mine.
Wonderful. And having done Across the Universe, you had a chance to sing in that. You're on the soundtrack. You are a singer. How was that experience? Just being able to use another talent, your vocal talents.
Well, I've been singing as long as I've been...
Which was beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I started singing the same time I started acting. I started in musical theater in A Christmas Carol. So it was my dream to be able to incorporate movies and music, and what better music than the Beatles? It was just beyond belief. And I actually just got a package in the mail, and I didn't know what it was, and I opened them up, and it was the platinum record for the soundtrack, and I cried. I never thought I would see the day that I would have a platinum record on my wall with my name on it. It was just unbelievable.
At 21.
At 21,
what you've done, what you've achieved.
What's next?
Really? Oscar, maybe?
I don't know.
On it. You've been nominated, and you have achieved getting some awards.
Yeah.
Especially with your work in 13 when you were younger. So why stop there, right?
Yeah, and so I'm not in a hurry. I feel like I have done so much, and I feel like I just want to take my time, and because most people, say, oh, you could be the biggest star, you could do this movie and do that and make millions of dollars. So I'm like, yeah, but I just...
That's not your path.
I just want to take it easy and just enjoy myself and stay young, as young as I can for as long as possible.
And that could be why it's working for you. You have a project coming up with Woody Allen. You just completed the film, and it's getting ready to hit the market.
June 19th.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
It was amazing. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. I'd never done a comedy before. And, not only that, but it's very intimidating. It's a Woody Allen comedy.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to do it justice. And Woody loves his dialogue. So, one scene is 10 pages. He wants it all in one take. So, so luckily I had, Larry was great with me and really, took care of me and helped me out. And I would ask him, how was that? Was that good? And, then he would ask me how I remember lines because on Curb Your Enthusiasm, they just improv. So we kind of bonded because we were both a little nervous, but I've seen the film and it's so funny and it's so good and it's very, very classic Woody Allen. And he was back in New York. He hasn't filmed there in so long. So being with him in that city was really special.
New York is a fun city. And things kind of closed down when Woody Allen's shooting anyway. People let him do whatever he wants.
They really do. They were so great to us. They let us film wherever we wanted. We got to film in the Wax Museum, and that was a little bizarre. I didn't know who was real or fake. Yeah, things like that. It's just special.
Great, good experience. That's June 19th, and that the film name is
Whatever It Works.
Whatever It Works, and that's opening basically throughout the country.
Yeah, it's opening New York, LA first, and then it'll open wide.
Great. Okay, so we're getting down to the wire here. You're a North Carolina girl. You're from Raleigh, North Carolina. Started right here in this building, basically, Theater in the Park.
Yep.
What would your inspiration be to aspiring actors and actresses out there that might want to make it in this business? Maybe try the New York, LA market, or whatever.
Yeah. Well, New York and LA are equally difficult. It's really hard because I notice so much of it now is the connections you have or this or that and favors for people. And, I see so much amazing talent, falling through the cracks. And especially with this whole new, crazy obsession with fame and paparazzi and all that stuff. It's I feel like what it's really about can get lost. So I find New York to appreciate more creative, different artistic minds than LA can. As much as I love it, I live there. It can be slightly more superficial. I think New York is definitely slightly more cultured. Because it's
I'll
kind
have
of
to agree with that. I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah. I mean, it's because it's in the middle of
I understand that.
it's closer to Europe, and so I kind of get more of a European film feel there. So
a little bit of everything too.
I find myself happier when I'm there, but it's difficult. You just have to keep. If you love it, just don't stop. I mean, so many people don't get a break until very after they've been doing it for years. I mean, Darren Aronofsky directed The Wrestler, living with his parents till he was. Almost 30,
Right.
and then he did Pi, and now look at him, so he didn't give up.
Just follow your dreams. Don't give up.
Yeah, if that's what you want, that's what makes you happy, and you have the drive, find a way.
Good words from Evan Rachel Wood. Pleasure having you. Thank you so
nice.
much for
Thank
being a part of
you.
this.
Thank
We're so
you
happy to
very
have
much.
you.
I know.
And break a leg with Romeo and Juliet. It's going to be
Thank
a
you.
beautiful production.
I think it will be. I think it will be.
And remember, her film comes out June 19th, so look for that. And you have another project on the way as well, aren't you? Are you working on anything else?
Well, hopefully at the end of the year, I'll be starting Broadway, Spider-Man. So I'll be back in New York.
Unbelievable.
So you can come see me.
There goes the singing.
Hopefully.
Yes.
I'm
Fingers crossed.
waiting to get it in stone.
Great. Thank you so much, Evan. Such a
Thank you.
pleasure. And we'll be right back with more Second Cinema. Keep it here.